Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. There was a very grueling, tough women's fight, a 10-rounder between Shannon Ryan and the British-based Polish girl called Jasmina Zapotoczna. Now, I've seen Zapotoczna before, and I think she's pretty good, at least what I'd seen in the past. And she came into this fight undefeated. In fact, both the girls had identical records. Both had 6 fights, 6 wins, no draws, no defeats, and neither had ever scored a KO or stoppage. Okay, but Zapotoczna, if I have a complaint about her, is that she doesn't really. There's some leftover sort of style from the amateurs. She doesn't have a particularly professional style, and she tends to sort of her punches. A lot of them aren't fired correctly. She doesn't turn her punches over particularly well, but then. With Shannon Ryan, even though she's a lot more aggressive, again, I don't think her technique is that great. Her punch, the way she punches, isn't particularly correct. But she is aggressive, highly aggressive, and she was in this fight as well. And for the first 4 rounds, I thought Zapotoczna was just way too conservative. She was sort of pouring with a jab, and there was no snap to it. She was sticking it out there and she was constantly fighting off the back foot. And Ryan she didn't land that many punches. She didn't land that many clean punches. But she just outworked the all too conservative Zapotoczna. And I gave the first 4 rounds to Shannon Ryan. And then suddenly, Jasmina started to get a little bit of success. Her jab became a little bit more authoritative. She was landing it a bit more. Ryan, perhaps after 4 rounds, she'd used up a lot of energy. She seemed to slow down a bit. And I gave the 5th and the 6th to Zapotoczna. Now, this was, it was up in the air. I mean, you got 4 rounds to go. Zapotoczna's come right back into it. And then in the 8th, there was, I think it was a clash of heads. And Ryan emerged with a very bad, deep sort of vertical gash on her forehead between her eyes, and the blood was sort of pouring down into both her eyes. It was nasty cut, it looked quite deep. And Zapotoczna, seeing the blood, smelling the blood, went straight after her. Probably pinched another round. I think I gave the 7th to Ryan and the 8th to Zapotoczna. So again, 2 rounds to go. It's all up in the air. And I think I gave the 9th to Ryan and the 10th to Zapotoczna. Now, there wasn't a lot in some of these rounds. There really wasn't, because like I say, it doesn't surprise me that neither girl's got a stoppage, because they just don't fire their punches correctly. And Zapotoczna, in the last few rounds, was really fighting. Instead of, trying to pour and fence with the jab, she suddenly decided, well, I'm behind, I better get stuck in now. And she showed, a lot of spite. She showed that she could match Ryan. Ryan slings her punches, so they're a bit more picturesque, and they perhaps pick up a few more points because they look a bit more, highlight reel. Whereas Zapotoczna, she sort of fires, a lot of the time she's firing arm punches. But of course, all these shortcomings with both these girls made for a good fight. It was a good, entertaining, grueling fight. And it ended with Shannon Ryan winning a unanimous decision. I had it 96-94, which 2 of the judges did. I think Phil Edwards had it 98-93. I thought it was a bit wide, but yeah, the right girl won. Shannon Ryan won. But I think Zapotoczna, Jasmina, she's going to look back on this and think, why was I so reticent in the opening few rounds? Why didn't I give it more in the first 3-4 rounds? I could have won this fight. And she was originally meant to fight Maisie Rose Courtney, and Maisie Rose pulled out, so Shannon stepped in. Credit to Shannon, But both these guys, I mean, Shannon's talking about winning, other belts. They're super flyweights, these girls, by the way. She's 27 now, Shannon, and I'm assuming she started boxing quite late because like I say, her technique isn't great, and she likes to slug, and she's quite good at it. Whereas Jasmina likes to box and is okay. She's not great, but she's okay at it. But yeah, if Jasmina wants to start winning again, she's going to have to improve her output basically. And as for Shannon Ryan, I think she'll be in some great fights. I think she'll get work because she's got an exciting style. But I can see a more proactive boxer with perhaps a bit more pop to their punches, who fires their punches more correctly, outboxing Shannon and cutting her up and outpointing her widely. Unfortunately for Jasmina, that wasn't her. But she's got to learn from this fight. I mean, she's 29, so she's not ancient. Shannon's 27, Jasmina's 29. Both these women have got a future in the game because, there is a super flyweight. As with most divisions in women's boxing, there is, you've got a few at the top who are very, very good, but very few in the middle. The talent pool is lacking. So both these girls could go on and have good careers, but put them together, it just shows you you can find entertainment in the lower levels of boxing. You put these two girls together, and both of them have sort of glaring deficiencies, but they produce a really good fight. They really do. And afterwards, Shannon was defiant despite the big cut on her forehead. The ref actually called the doctor in to have a look at it at the start of the ninth, let her carry on, and she ended up picking up the win. But good grueling fight, lacking a bit of technique, but I thought it was entertaining anyway. Did you see it? Did you like it? What do you think of Shannon Ryan? How far do you think she can go? Leave your comments below, and as always, please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button as well. I'd appreciate that. And thanks a lot for your time. I always appreciate it. Bye for now.